Okay, so for this problem here, to find the center of the circle, you use the opposite of the number here and the number here. So the center is actually +2, -4. Okay? Because if you look at this, the equation is x minus h and y minus k. So it's y minus a -4 and x minus 2. So it's 2 and -4. Okay? The radius is the square root of the number on the other side. Oh, I've been writing for a while, yeah. Boom. There you go. The radius is the square root of 9. And what's the square root of 9? 3. So 2, -4, if we go over 2 and down 4, it's right here. That's where the center of the circle would be. And if we go 3 each way, 3 to the right, 3 to the left, up 3, and down 3. And this looks more like an egg than a circle, but it's supposed to be a circle. Okay? So that's the circle formula equation stuff that we're doing today. Okay, so if our center is at 0, 0, the equation is x minus the x value of the center point, squared, plus y minus the y value of the center point, squared, equals the radius, squared. Well, what's x minus 0? X. So it's just x squared plus y squared equals 121. That's what we need for that. Now, when you do this, I just said on the last example, what do you do with the -2? Make it a +2. The y doesn't have anything here, so if it doesn't have anything, that means it's a 0. So the center of the circle is 2, 0. What's the radius going to be? Well, the radius is the square root of this number. What's the square root of 25? 5. Okay, so which one of these equations has a center of 6, 3 and a radius of 2? Now, 6 and 3 are both positive numbers. So we're looking for ones down here with negative numbers. So you can't use the ones with the positive numbers. It has to be the negative numbers. And the radius, what do we do with this number? Square it. So it has to be choice A. Here, the center is 6, 8. So it's x minus 6 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals, what's 10 squared? 100. Okay, so it's just simply the circle formula. All right, so find the equation of a circle having the given center and radius. Okay, the center is -2, +7. So what should the 2 be? A negative or a positive over here in the equation? It should be positive. The 7 should be negative. So it can't be that one or that one. And then when you square a square root, what do you get? A whole number. So it should be choice B. What are you looking for? Seniors. No seniors in here. All right. So if the center is at -2, 0, we go x and then what? Instead of x minus 2, we go x plus 2, because minus a -2 is plus 2 squared. Instead of going y minus 0, what do I do? Just plain and simple y squared. And what's my radius? 7. So what do we do with that? So it's 49. Okay. What's this point way over here? Well, it's back 8 and then down 4. So this point is at -8, -4. Where's the center of the circle? -8, -4. So we go x plus 8 and y. And what's my radius if it goes 1 each way? 1. And what's 1 squared? 1. Okay. All right. Now, finally, for one that you have to use your brain a little bit more for. Okay. And its center is this. It passes through this. What they're telling you is if the center is at 3, -5, and it passes through 1, -1, what don't they give you here? The radius. We got to figure out the radius. We got to figure out the length of this line, otherwise known as the distance from 1, -1 to 3, -5. If I need to find a distance, I use the distance formula. x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So it is 3 minus 1 squared plus -5 minus -1 squared, which is 2 squared plus -4 squared, which is 4 plus 16, or the square root of 20. Okay, so the distance is the square root of 20, or the radius is the square root of 20 here. So we know the center is 3, -5. So is it +3 minus 5 or -3 plus 5? -3 plus 5. So we get rid of these two. The square root of 20 squared is 20. Okay. You'll have to graph and graph this one. The equation models the position and range of a tornado alert siren. Whoa. Describe the position and range of the siren. The position is the center. Where's the center of this one? What's the center of this one? -2, +9. And the range is the radius. What's the radius? 12. Okay. On this one, our center is at 3, -1. To find the radius, you just go from here and you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The radius is 5. From there, we can write our equation. X minus 3 quantity squared plus y plus 1 quantity squared equals 25. Write an equation with a circle with a diameter of AB. Okay, so if this is a diameter, we have to find the center. How do I find the center of this? What's the center of a diameter? Well, a diameter is a segment, right? How do you find the center of a segment? Use the midpoint formula. So if I need to find the center of this, I use the midpoint formula. I take 1 plus 17 and divide it by 2. And then I take 1 plus 17 and divide it by 2, which is 18 over 2 and 18 over 2, which is 9 and 9. So my center is 9 and 9. Okay, so it's not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one, or not this one. It's +9, +9. So I've got those three choices. Now, from 9, 9, I got to figure out how far it is to 1, 1. So it's the square root of 9 minus 1 squared plus 9 minus 1 squared, which is the square root of 8 squared plus 8 squared. What's 8 squared? 64 plus another 64 is the square root of 128. That's the radius, which is the correct answer. Huh? It is C. All right. And finally, a sphere, which is a circle in 3 dimensions. So if you're doing a sphere, there's the X, the J, and the K. Instead of X and instead of H and K, it's H, J, and K. Okay? If M is a center and it passes through this point, what's the radius? Well, it's still the distance formula, now with 3 numbers. -1 minus 0 squared plus 3 minus 6 squared plus 3 minus 2 squared. Or -1 squared plus -3 squared plus 1 squared. -1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, -1 squared is 1. This is the square root of 11. So the radius is the square root of 11. So then the equation is x minus the h. H is -1, so minus the negative is plus the positive. So it's x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared plus z minus 2 squared equals, what's the square root of 11 squared? 11. And there you go. Okay. The circle formula. Okay, there's 14 questions, so it will take you just a little bit to finish it, but it is not overly difficult. Mm-hmm. All right, section 12.5 is out there. You may get started.